Associated Press now posts a recurring article called Not Real News, a look at what didn't happen this week. It's advertised as a roundup of some of the most popular, but completely untrue, stories and visuals of the week. None of these are legit, even though they were widely shared on social media. How have we reached a point where a major news organization has plenty of material for a weekly newsletter on fake news? Why do people create and share misinformation? Before we can answer this question, it's helpful to have a better understanding of the misinformation landscape. First, most misinformation can't really be called news, fake or otherwise. The term fake news can be used to broadly describe inaccurate or misleading stories, but even these are only a fraction of the total misinformation content. A lot of misinformation is simply gossips, rumors, and memes. Some of it is hyper-targeted ads, manipulated videos, or misrepresented photos. Most of it has at least a grain of truth, since information that is an outright lie is far easier for people to spot and categorize as false. While using fabricated, made-up content is common, plenty of misinformation simply misrepresents, exaggerates, or cherry-picks pieces from completely legitimate sources. So when we think about misinformation, we have to acknowledge the entire landscape. Content that lies along the entire truthfulness spectrum. Content that causes various levels of harm and damage. And content that exists in every type of genre imaginable, from Facebook memes and email chains to manipulated videos and, on occasion, actual news stories. In this complex landscape, many different actors create and spread misinformation. Jokers, scammers, hyperpartisan organizations, conspiracy theorists, fake insiders, celebrities, and sometimes even your friends and family. A joker might create a parody or satirical piece to get a few laughs, but others might spread it on social media thinking it's true. A politician might use misinformation against an opponent in an election, or to deflect blame from themselves in reaction to a real or perceived crisis. A friend might share public health misinformation because they believe it's true and they want to protect their friends and family. But sometimes one's use of misinformation isn't so straightforward. Why did someone create a fake story claiming the Pope had COVID-19? Why do bots and trolls on Twitter share anti-vaccine and climate change denial messages at significantly higher rates than other users? What's the purpose? Let's step back for a moment. Have you ever witnessed a scene like this one play out? A child goes up to their parent. "Mom, I just want you to know that I think you're the best mom in the whole world." The mom beams. "Aw, thanks." The child walks away. 5 minutes later, the child comes back. "Hey mom, can I have an ice cream?" Now we can pretty easily see that true filial devotion was probably not the main driver behind the child's "Mom, you're the best" message. The child was trying to use flattery to get an ice cream. We should remember that misinformation often operates in a similar way. The driving motivation behind creating or sharing misinformation is often different from the actual message being shared. Disinformation campaigns, for example, which are deliberately crafted to spread false or misleading information, often spread both pro and con messages about divisive issues like abortion, vaccinations, climate change, or political ideology. These posts usually aren't trying to change anyone's strongly held position. Instead, they seek to encourage radicalization, to foster mistrust in institutions, to widen existing divisions in society by breaking down trust and communication between different groups, and to facilitate censorship through noise, using mass-produced and mass-distributed misinformation to overwhelm our ability to find and identify trustworthy content, thus effectively censoring it. As we navigate the misinformation landscape, we should be aware of these ulterior motives. Stopping the spread of misinformation is important, but it is also critical that we actively work against the byproduct of misinformation spread, which includes seeking unity in civil discourse rather than division, and uplifting what is true above the noisy jumble of half-truths and lies. As Christians, we are called to follow after and emulate a God who is the way, the truth, and the life. The prayer book teaches that among our duties to our neighbors is to be honest and fair in our dealings, and to speak truth and not mislead others by our silence.